If I could have everybody's attention, please. First of all, I would like to welcome you all to our home and welcome you to the start of what we expect to be a very exciting presidential meet and greet series that is being put on by the House Republican majority and our chairman, Bill O'Brien. So I want to introduce Bill, former Speaker of the New Hampshire House and currently the elected leader of the House majority, Republican majority group. Bill?
I also want to welcome all of you here to the inaugural event of the New Hampshire House Republican Caucus Presidential Series. And you know, I look around and I see so many of you here, so many friends, and it seems like this is sort of the center of the New Hampshire politics universe tonight. Just about everyone's here. You know, of course, you know, Fergus Cullen couldn't have made it today. I contacted him, and he was saying that he's making a list of people he doesn't want to darken his doorstep. And he said, you know, Bernie Sanders has already agreed to come, and so he feels okay. He feels okay about that. Hillary, of course, couldn't make it because she says, I have the liberals wrapped up, and I'm trying to get together the moderates and conservatives, and Fergus, that's not you. And so, you know, this is just a great event. You know, the purpose of this series is to connect the conservative Republican candidates or potential candidates with the activists of New Hampshire, and particularly those most important activists that are elected to the New Hampshire House. And so as I look around and I see so many state representatives here, I wish I had the time, but I know Steve won't give it to me to call all of you and to identify all of you, because you are really the heart and the soul of the Republican Party. And so I'm asking all of those candidates to reach out to the heart and soul and reach out to conservatives, and let us make sure that this primary season New Hampshire sends a good conservative candidate to the other primary states. And I'm so grateful to Mr. Trump for coming here, for talking with us, for kicking this off, and you're going to hear a good conservative today. Representative Stepanek will introduce him to us.
Thank you, Bill. And before we get going, I would like my daughter Jessica, Cassandra, and my son here to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Now I have just a short little introduction here. It took me a while to boil it down because Mr. Trump has got such an impressive resume. Donald J. Trump is the very definition of the American success story, continually setting the standards of excellence while expanding his interests in real estate, sports, and entertainment. He is a graduate of the Wharton School of Finance, an accomplished author. Mr. Trump has penned over 15 bestsellers, and his first book, The Art of the Deal, is considered a business classic and one of the most successful business books of all time. During the 2014 political cycle, Mr. Trump was a top contributor and fundraiser for Republican efforts. Mr. Trump also campaigned tirelessly across the country for Republican candidates, helping them win in record margins. And I will say that he was very helpful to candidates here in New Hampshire, and we thank him for that. Mr. Trump has over 7 million followers on social media. He frequently uses his platform to advocate for conservative causes, Republican candidates, and to educate the public on the failures, and there are many, of the Obama administration. Mr. Trump appears weekly on Fox and Friends Monday Morning Edition, and he devotes much of his time to media interviews in order to promote a free market, the importance of a strong family, a culture of life, a strong military, and most of all, our country's sacred obligation, turn the page, to take care of our veterans and their families. Mr. Trump has long been a devoted supporter of veterans' causes. In 1995, the 50th anniversary of World War II, only 100 spectators watched New York City's Veterans Day parade. It was an insult to all veterans. Amen. Approached by Mayor Rudy Giuliani and the chief of New York City's FBI office, Mr. Trump agreed to lead as Grand Marshal of the following year's Veterans Day parade. He made a $1 million matching donation to finance that parade. On Saturday, November 11th, 1996, over 1.4 million people watched as Mr. Trump marched down Fifth Avenue with more than 25,000 veterans. Many dressed A month later, Mr. Trump was honored in the Pentagon during a lunch with the Secretary of Defense and the entire Joint Chiefs of Staff. Mr. Trump is the Emmy-nominated star and co-producer of the reality series The Apprentice, which quickly became the #1 show on television. Gotta find my place again. It made ratings history and received rave reviews and worldwide attention. The Celebrity Apprentice has met with great success as well, being one of the highest rated TV shows on television. The Apprentice record 14th season premiered January 2015. You're fired. Is listed as the 3rd greatest television catchphrase of all time. Because of this success, in 2007, Mr. Trump received a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame. The Apprentice has raised over $15 million for charity. Mr. Trump was born in Queens, New York. He is married to Melania Trump, and father to Donald Trump Jr., Ivanka, Erica, Tiffany, and Barron. He is the proud grandfather of 7 wonderful grandchildren. It is my honor to welcome, on behalf of my wife Ellen and myself, Mr. Donald Trump to our home and to the great state of New Hampshire.
Wow, that's great, Steve. And I want to thank Steve and Ellen for destroying their home tonight. I don't think it'll ever be quite the same. And you hear that? And I didn't, you know, that's a hell of a cue. Somebody's going to say, Trump set that broken glass up. But Ellen, we really do appreciate it. And I know this is sort of a record crowd that they've ever had over here. And we said, if the house comes down, if it's demolished, I don't care because I'm leaving and you're going to have to leave. But I do. And Bill, I want to thank you very much. I've been hearing so much about you. You've been a friend. I've been helping you over the years, and you're a tremendous asset to New Hampshire and the people of New Hampshire. And I know how much you love them and you love the state. So it's a great honor that you were involved today, and to get this kind of a crowd was really my honor. I appreciate it. Thank you. And I have to just introduce one other person, Corey. Everybody knows Corey. Where's Corey? Come here a minute, Corey. He is so terrific. He is so solid. Everything is boom, 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 and by the book. But he just has such feeling for this particular candidate and this campaign.
And I think we're going to do very well when they hear the real story. I think they're going to do very well. You know, we did a lot of interviews today, and we're going to take questions today because I really want to hear from you. But we did a lot of interviews, we did a few speeches, and we were met with such big crowds and such enthusiasm. A lot of it you're going to see on television tonight when you go home. But the response has been phenomenal, and I think you knew that before anybody. We formed, as you know, yesterday an exploratory committee. We've had unbelievable response to that. And people are always saying, is he going to run? Is he going to run? You know, I have a great television show. I do have a great life. I have a business that I love. But the country is going to hell. We have people that don't know what they're doing in Washington. They're giving it away. You look at what China's doing to us. They're just ripping us left, right, and down the middle. You look at how they're taking the jobs. And I'm not just talking about China. China's the great abuser. But many, many other countries. And when you think of it, when was the last time you've heard that our country won something? We beat Mexico in this. We beat Brazil in this. We never win anything. We don't have the people. We don't have the capability. And frankly, I said, I know you have a lot of politicians, so please close yours. But honestly, politicians, other than the ones in this room, are all talk and no action. Okay? I hate to say this. But we need people in Washington that know how to make the deal. We need people in Washington that can lead. We need people in Washington that don't go around signing executive orders because they can't get people into a room and get some kind of a deal that's negotiated, even between the Republicans and the conservatives and the Democrats and the liberals and everybody else. We need people that know how to lead, and we don't have that. We have amateurs. We have people that, frankly, I don't know if they're good people or bad people. I know this, they don't know what they're doing. So you look at Mexico, where people are pouring across our border. And these aren't necessarily good people, folks. These are gang members. These are people that are in trouble. These are a lot of bad people coming into this country. And they talk about the Middle East, and they talk about other people coming in. The easiest way is just go down to our southern border. You come right in. And who is better at building than Trump? And who is better at building a fence? And you may have some Bush supporters, I'm not sure, but you know, when you see Bush on Common Core, where he wants education to start. I mean, think of it, education to start in Washington. Education should be local. The people that know the children, that love the children, that know what the children should be studying and learning and enjoying. It should be a local thing. We spend billions of dollars in Washington. That money should be spent locally on education. And as far as immigration, we have to have that border. We have to have a strong border. We can't let people in. We can't afford it. We're a country that has $18 trillion in debt. Think of it. A number you never heard. 10 years ago, did you ever hear the word trillion? Now it's like commonplace. When we hit 24 trillion, that's a really significant roadblock because it's almost the point of no return. And we're going to be there soon. The country's a disaster. Now, I'll say this. If I decide to run, and I think a lot of you are going to be very pleasantly surprised because I hate to see what's happening to our country. You know, I love what I'm doing. I love my jobs. I love my buildings. I'm building on Pennsylvania Avenue. I'm building Doral in Miami. Magnificent properties all over the world we're building. I love it. But I love our country more. I love it. If we don't get started fast, our country is going to be Detroit. You know what happened to Detroit? It's happening to our country. We have a tremendous job ahead. With all of that being said, we also have a country with great potential. When we tell China that it's not going to happen anymore, you're not going to devalue your currency and take all the jobs. When we tell Mexico you're not sending all the people in, and on top of that, what you don't realize is economically, they've taken a lot of your jobs from New Hampshire. A lot of jobs have gone to Mexico with lots of tax abatements. Can you believe it? They get incentives to take jobs out of our places and bring them to Mexico. That's happening. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. It's going to be reversed. And we're going to make this country great again. And to make it great, you have to make it rich. Doesn't sound good. Oh, we're going to make it rich. But we're right now a debtor nation. We have to make this country rich again, and we have to make it great again. We have to build up our military. We have to be tough as hell on our enemies. We have to know what we're doing. I mean, we're thinking of it all the time. I'm in the real estate business. I get listings, Army bases, Marine bases, all of these. I say, how did we get? I mean, so many. They're being sold left and right. You know what that means? It means we're closing them up. We're closing. We are doing tremendous disservice to our military. We have a great military. We're destroying our military. Plus, we're not using it properly. We're not even getting the proper weapons. I mean, weaponry is all political. Whoever has the politics gets the weapons. We need certain weapons. We get a weapon that some politician wants. It's got to stop. It's got to stop. So we have a country with great potential. We need a leader that knows how to lead, but we also need a leader that knows the deal. We can't let the world rip us off anymore, because that's what they've been doing. The world has been ripping us off like nobody has ever been ripped before. And we have the cards. What people don't understand, we have the cards. All of that stuff made by China and other countries that's sent into our country without tax, without this, without that. By the way, when we send product to them, they tax it. You know that, right? They tax it. We don't. Because we have amateurs. We have checker players, and they have grandmaster chess players. Those are their negotiators. And we have guys that are diplomats, and they come from who knows where. They know nothing about business. They know nothing about economics. And honestly, we're led by a bunch of fools. That has got to stop. Now, I will tell you, thank you. I'm not a politician. I've dealt with politicians all my life. I've made a lot of money dealing with politicians. If you can't make money dealing with politicians, you're not very smart. But that's the story, and that's the way it is. And if we're going to save our country, and I mean save our country, then we're going to have to get an entirely different group, and we have to get an entirely different mindset in Washington. I am different than other people because I'm not going to cut Social Security. All other Republicans, true. All other Republicans, they want to cut Social Security. You want to cut it. I mean, I can get into it. I can tell you the names of them, but everybody, they want to cut it. They want to cut Medicare. They want to cut Medicaid. They want to cut it. Now, the Democrats aren't saying that, but the Democrats aren't also giving the answer. I'm not cutting Social. I'm the only Republican that says I'm not cutting Social Security, Medicare, or Medicaid. But I would make this country so rich that you wouldn't have to cut it. And it'll come out of other people. And it'll come from other countries that have had a field day. You know, Saudi Arabia makes $1 billion a day. We get nothing. We protect them. South Korea, I just ordered thousands of television sets. South Korea, LG, Samsung, all of them. I wish you folks made some television sets, but you know what? With the funny games that they play with currencies, you wouldn't sell them anyway, because you can't compete. When China devalues, which they're going to do again very soon, which is hard to believe, and the reason they're doing it is because, and I didn't think they'd be able to, and now I know they're going to, because we have so many problems, that the last problem this country is thinking about is China devaluing their currency again, and they're doing it bigly. They're going to drain the rest of our jobs. And it's not them, it's everybody. They're going to drain the rest of our jobs. We can't have it. We can't let it happen. And we can stop it really, really easily. And we can become rich again. We can become great again. And that's the whole focus of what I'd be doing if I decide to run. It's we're going to make America great again. It's as simple as that. And it won't even be hard. Okay? So, I want to thank everybody for this record crowd. It's a record crowd, and we have record crowds. You know, at CPAC I had a record crowd. It's sort of interesting. The press said, so-and-so had a big crowd, so-and-so had a big crowd. Donald Trump did a nice speech. They didn't say, but I had the biggest crowd, but they didn't say it. So, you know, so I have to say it myself. You know the expression? If the press won't say it, I'll say it myself. But this is a record, and this is a great crowd, and this is a friendly crowd, and these are great people. And what I say about New Hampshire, they're people that love, because I've been here so much, And I don't mean in a political way. I have a lot of friends from New Hampshire. I have a lot of great people from New Hampshire. But I always say they work hard and they love the country. That's what I think when I think of New Hampshire. People that work hard and they really love the country. So we're going to do a job for this country. And this country, I mean, we are going to be great again. So with that, I want to do something. I want to take questions. And let's go. Make them vicious, violent questions. Go ahead. Let's go.
My name's John Kapinski.
Hi, Jonathan.
Gary. I'm a veteran of the United States Air Force in Vietnam era, just like a lot of guys here.
Right.
How are you guys fixed to do that?
Good. The veterans have been treated terribly. I deal with the veterans all the time. You know, you heard about the Veterans Parade, which I was very proud of. I mean, this was a time when I was younger, and it was around 1995, as you said, and it was a very, very sad day. They had the Veterans Parade on Riverside South. Nobody has Riverside. They had it down. You remember it. And nobody came. You don't have parades on Riverside because nobody's there. And nobody came. And it was a horrible thing, and it got tremendous front page publicity that nobody showed up. There were like literally 100 to 500 people there. And I said to the mayor, I want to have a parade and I want to knock them out. And we had, I think it was 1,500,000, 1,500,000. It was one of the biggest parades in the history of New York, and I was really honored to lead that parade. The other thing I did for the veterans, and I felt very strongly about it, the Vietnam veterans have been treated terribly. Terribly. And
That's right.
in New York, as you know, you have the Vietnam Memorial. And it was done in around 1986. And I contributed $1 million to it and helped lead the construction of the Vietnam Memorial. That's when $1 million was $1 million, by the way. That's when $1 million really meant something. That was a lot of money back in those days. But I contributed and helped lead for the construction, and it's to this day, and I go down and look at it all the time, and it's amazing how many people go there. Many are the relatives of people that were killed in Vietnam, but it's amazing. It's right down near the East River, you probably know, but that was my baby, and I'm very proud of it. So I like the veterans. Now, I will tell you this, I love the veterans. The veterans in New Hampshire, you don't have your own full-service hospital. You have to go to other states. You have tremendously, proportionately, one of the largest veterans populations of any state. I think you're number 3. And that can't happen. That can't happen. It's unfair. And your people have to travel hours and hours and hours to get to a full-service hospital. And I met with a lot of the vets today. We had that meeting, and it was a great meeting. And I learned a lot. But they are not treating the veterans right in New Hampshire. And I'll tell you something, and you know this better than I do, the politicians never will. They'll talk and talk and talk and nothing will happen. And I'll go a step further. Outside of the veterans, I'm a Republican and I'm a conservative, but I'm very disappointed with the Republicans because all of the things that the Democrats and Obama are doing, the Republicans talk, oh, you hear this big flurry for 24 hours, then that's the end of it. They don't do anything about it. All of these things that they do, whether it's legally or illegally, you hear this tremendous flurry of bull from the Republicans, and then nothing happens. That's the end of it. It's like it's a dead story. And you can go into whether it's Benghazi, IRS, it doesn't matter. You can go into so many, nothing ever happens. So let me tell you, that's going to all change. And the veterans will be very, very happy if I decide to run, and if I win, the veterans are going to be very, very happy, because they are not being treated properly. Okay. Thank you. Yes. Good.
And I agree with you. I'm a registered Republican, but I'm especially at the federal level, absolutely sick of both the Republicans and the Democrats. The biggest, I can say, complaint, and I also see that missing in politics at the federal level, is this lack of regard for integrity of our Constitution.
Sure.
And you have so many of these presidential candidates and politicians saying, well, you know, we have these issues with the EPA, we have issues with this department, but then when they get in there, what happens? Government grows even more, regulations grow even more. What are you going to do to, I want to see when you're out of office, if you run and win, regulations go down.
Absolutely. Look, I can tell you, environmental protection is a total joke, because these people do nothing. I was giving you the example, and it doesn't sound like much, but as a builder, I build beautiful places, and I have great success with these places. I go out, you buy faucets today. No water comes out, because they have it restricted. So what do? You leave the water run 5 times longer to wash your hands. The shower, you turn on the shower, there's no water. What is it? They have restrictors in. You buy them with restrictors, EPA. So what do? You stay in the shower for 3 times longer than you want to. There's no saving. And it's terrible. And then people come over to our country, they say, what the hell's wrong with your showers? What's wrong with your... And this is just an example of what you're saying. I mean, it's a terrible situation. And there are hundreds of things like that. You look at what's going on with oil and coal and production and this and that. Now, what has happened, finally, oil is coming down. Fracking has been positive. Lots of other things have been positive. But what people don't realize is oil all over the place. And there has been for years. They used to have ships out there with oil, and oil is hitting $150 a barrel. And they'd have ships all over the place. They can't get rid of it. But now they're getting rid of it. There's such an overabundance that it's incredible. One of the reasons is fracking. What's happened with fracking? By the way, no help by the government. The government wants to shut everything down. They want to shut every form of energy down. So there will be a lot of changes, a lot of changes. This country has such potential, and it can be truly at a level that it was never. You know, hey, I always say, the line is, make our country great again. The truth is, we can make it better than ever with common sense and skill. But we need skill. We don't have the smart people. I'll give you an example of this. We have the greatest and smartest and most brilliant people on Wall Street. I know them. They're not nice. They're terrible. Many of them are terrible human beings. I know them all. Many of them are the worst. I want them negotiating with China. I want them negotiating with Japan. Mexico doesn't have a chance against these people. These are tough, brilliant people. Are they nice? No, not particularly. In fact, some are horrible people, horrible human beings. Who cares? I want them negotiating for us, not some diplomat or somebody that gave Obama a campaign contribution and got a position. We want our toughest, our smartest, our brightest, and we will be tremendous. Go ahead.
Mark Kim, on that thing. I would like you to talk about how to successfully lower the business taxes so that one of the ways we can become rich again is to give companies a reason to stay here instead of moving their headquarters.
Ooh, yeah.
And they are doing that. And you know what? The great secret of this world today is the fact that many American companies are leaving. And they're not proud of it. In some cases, you have guys that love the country, but they're running companies, and they're getting paid to run companies. And they got to do what's right. They've got to. And they're leaving this country, and they're going overseas where their tax rates are much lower. We're the highest taxed nation in the world. I always hear, raise taxes, let's go, raise taxes, do all these stupid things. Keep funding the Department of Education, where these people are just there to make a big check. Keep funding Department of Environmental Protection, keep funding all these, and I'll tell you what, and many other things. You saw the report, came out 2 days ago. $125 billion a year in waste. Now that's only what they found. What about the stuff they didn't find, which is probably 20 times that amount? So great question, we are the highest taxed nation in the world. And companies are leaving and they're going to other countries because they save a tremendous amount on tax. And people aren't talking about that, and we have to lower our taxes. And if we don't, we're going to be in big trouble.
How do you incentivize the Congress to move and get that done?
Well, number one, you have to elect, frankly, people like me. You know what happens? I don't need the lobbyists' money. These companies all have lobbyists. Countries have lobbyists. You take a look at China, you take a look at Mexico, you take a look at Brazil, you take a look at all of these countries. Check out their lobbying. Take a look at Saudi Arabia. And the lobbyists work really hard. They're really good. And they make big campaign contributions to congressmen and senators and all of these people. And these people don't want to do what's right. They want to do what's right. A lot of these politicians, it's just self-preservation. They want to preserve their job. And I've seen this because I've dealt with politicians for so long. And I respect them, actually. They're really good at what they do. They're not good at dealing for the people, but they're good at dealing for themselves. That's what they do. Now what happens is they want to keep their job. And they have a lot of campaign contributions coming into them. And they're not going to give up those campaign contributions because you want lower taxes. And the people that they are representing, they represent the people, but they really represent lobbyists and countries and lots of other things. And you know what? In a certain way, they don't even know what they're doing. They don't even know they're doing the wrong thing. But the right thing is to get the right people in office, and that stuff won't happen okay? And you're right, we have to lower taxes. We have to give incentive. You know, we have trillions of dollars out there of companies' money that could come back in. They don't want to pay huge taxes on it, so they leave it out. We have to bring that money back in, and it's really easy. Yes?
Mr. Thomas from Londonderry, I understand that ISIS is a B team.
Right.
Which should be controlled.
Yeah, I know. Can you imagine?
Countries, you know, controlling them.
Right.
How are we going to protect our
Okay.
country
Right.
and keep them, not only keep them out of our area, but get rid of them?
How are we going to deal with ISIS? Isn't that a great question? How are we going to deal with ISIS? You know what the answer is? I don't want to tell you. You know why? I don't want to tell you. Because if I get elected, you want to know, if I get elected, if I run and get elected, the last thing I want to do is be telling you what I'm going to do with ISIS. Look at Obama. 2 weeks ago. You know, we're going to go here, and 2 weeks we're going to be bombing here and doing this and dropping soldiers there and sending in the... And I said to myself, General MacArthur, I'm a big fan of General MacArthur, and General Patton, they're spinning in their grave. They don't believe what's happening. So I will tell you this. We will win against ISIS, and we will win decisively. I'm not going to tell you. And other people shouldn't tell you. And these politicians shouldn't be saying, you know, in 2 weeks we're going to be raiding this one, we're going to hit them from the west, and then we're going to hit them from the east. And by the way, it's not even a false signal. That's exactly what they do. And then when they lose soldiers and when they lose everything, look at Iraq, a total disaster. But everybody knows what we're going to be doing. So I will just tell you this. We're going to win. We're going to win big. We're going to win fast. We're going to win decisively. And I'm not going to tell you what we're going to do, but I know.
Lori Davis, we have a country of people that seem to feel they're entitled.
Yeah.
None of us have worked to get where we are. We've earned our way. And I'm running into an awful lot of people that want my house, but they don't want my mortgage, and they feel like, oh,
And they don't want to work, like you. You've worked. They don't want to work. That's a problem. We have to create incentive for people. We do. And it's a problem of entitlement, and it's a problem that some people have. But we have to create, and they can be very good people, as you know. They're good people, great people in many cases, but we have to create an incentive where they want to work. Right now, there's a tremendous incentive not to work. And blame your politicians and blame your government more than anybody else. Because you know what, if we're in that situation, who knows, maybe we take advantage of it too. You have to create an incentive to go out and work. And we don't do that in this country. We used to, but we don't do it anymore. And we can solve that problem. It's a problem that's solvable. Yes, sir.
Hi, Bob Graham, Keene State College Student Body President.
Very impressive, wow. At least he's a president.
So, national student debt has just reached over the commonplace value of $1 trillion.
Yeah.
I'm curious as far as how you're going to make students rich too.
Well, the students are going to be rich by getting a great education and paying off some of their debt. I mean, it is getting a little out of control, as you know, and a lot of people want to give up on that debt. But I think to a certain extent, it's like the question of entitlement. Maybe you should be working hard and doing something about it. But at the same time, we have to help young people get educated. We have to do whatever we have to do. That's one of the most important things. Education. I'm a big believer in education. I went to the Wharton School of Finance. It was a great thing for me. It was really a great thing. It really helped me. I think, I don't know, who knows? Who knows? But you know, we have to help people with education. And while I'm totally not in favor of Common Core, we do have to help people get through good colleges, get through good schools, get the local people really energized toward making those schools great at a young level, at a pre-K level, at a kindergarten level, and all the way up through high school. But we have to work on that, and we do have to help people get through college. So important. So there'll be a lot of help. Okay? Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am.
sorry, Mr. Trump, I can't see you right
It's okay.
Real quick question, what's your position on Sharia law taking its hold here in the States and what are you going to do to get rid of it?
Sharia law, I know it.
Well, go ahead, say it again.
What's your position on Sharia law here in the States?
Well, we're going to have to do something. I mean, we have a country that's based on our laws, and we can't change our laws. We have a country based on our laws, and we cannot change our laws. That's the way it is. Okay, we'll do one more question. Who's got a beauty? Who's got a real beauty, huh? I want a good question. And if it's not good, we're going to do another one, okay? Go ahead.
What's this?
Uh-oh, this is trouble. Go
I
ahead.
am. I'm Jen Coffey. I'm a proud former member of Speaker O'Brien's leadership team.
Good.
I am also the national spokeswoman, the National Director of Legislative Affairs for the Second Amendment Sisters.
Good.
I agree with you as a citizen, jobs and economy are number one, but as a sister, I will ask all presidential candidates to state your positions, the federal government, the
Okay.
Second Amendment, and our rights to defend
Big, big Second Amendment. I carry a pistol. I mean, they want to take that right away. You do understand that. They want to take it away from you, and they want to take it away from you, big league. And now they're going into the whole thing of bullets. 2 years ago, never even thought of it. Frankly, 6 months ago, nobody heard of it. But now they want to start with the bullets because they've been unsuccessful with the guns, so they're working hard on the bullets. No, excuse me, yeah. I'm a very, very big proponent of the Second Amendment. I feel very, very strongly. And, to put it very simply, and I say it, I guess other people have said it, one thing, the bad guys are not giving up their guns, okay? So all the good ones, here's the gun, here's the gun, it doesn't work that way. So I'm a very major proponent of Second Amendment. My 2 sons, Eric and Don, are master shots. They're members, very proud members of the NRA. And I'm not a master shot, but it's one of those things. You can't have everything, is the expression. But they're very proud members of the NRA, and I'm actually speaking at the NRA very soon at their major convention. So I just want to, again, thank you all. You guys, thank you, man. Thank you, that was really great. Great. And I really had fun, and I hope the press will report, as you said, this was a record, an all-time record. Nobody's going to write that, but that's okay. I mean, who cares? But I just want to say I'm very, very serious. And if I run, and if I win, we will make this country great again. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Bodies.